We just
That was a horrible hook set. There was another one in there.
Fresh up out the package, time I did not pay my dues affiliated to this
is
paper.
not a
I
good
need
place.
freedom
Oh, that's
for
a good
my
one.
family now.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today we're at Bass Pro and I'm gonna try to put y'all onto something. Normally this time of year I do videos on like the Spring Fishing Classic and like, you know, trading a rod and reel in for, or trading one of my old rod and reels in for a new one, which I still might do that because we have a lot of time left for the Spring Fishing Classic, but also it goes quick. Today I'm gonna do something that I haven't done really in the past. I started late last year and I saw a couple of people doing it and I was like, oh, let me try this earlier in the spring than normally what I would traditionally do it. Well, I guess I just started doing it. So I'm gonna try to put y'all onto something new today. We're gonna try to take like $50 or so into Bass Pro Shop and learn or teach y'all a new technique, something that has helped me catch a lot more fish this spring so far. And it's something that without it, I probably would still be the person saying, oh, the fishing ain't gotten good yet, but I just wasn't fishing in the right places. So we're gonna go in, I'm gonna check out some stuff. I already have a lot of this stuff at home, but I wanna see what Bass Pro has. Also, I haven't been to Bass Pro yet this year and it's March, so we're gonna do that and see what we can get into, so stay tuned. Look at all these boats out here. Let's see how much one of these things cost. Basically, just say $20,000 for a, how long is it? It is a 1648, so 16 foot long, 4 foot wide. It's a nice boat. And a 50 horse Mercury. It's not bad. I don't know, definitely more than what I'd want to pay. I'm definitely hitting Marketplace first, but you never know. You never know what you can find. All right, let's see what they got in here. Okay guys, so the technique that I've been talking about hitting at since we started the video is flipping, which you probably could see that from the beginning of the video, but it's one of those things that I feel like is really looked over. I've never done it from the bank. I think if you were in the right spot, you could potentially do it from the bank, but if you just have something to stand on, even if it's a 55-gallon drum or two 55-gallon drums on a pallet, just go out. If you have grass around the outside edge of your lake, go out and try. You probably need at least, I'd say, minimum 2 to 3 foot of water. It's starting to warm up a little bit. It can be one of those things that if you're not catching them from now throughout the summer, the bass are in the grass. That's where they're at. They're hiding in the grass. They're not out in the open. You can't cast up towards the grass. You got to get in there with them. So the things that you need to flip, you need heavy weights, you need flipping hooks, and you need plastics and bobber stops. So we're going to start off with the tungsten because that is our most expensive part of this. We're gonna look and see what type of tungsten they have here. Tungsten's tungsten. I get the cheapest, whether that's the Bass Pro brand. I think Strike King makes tungsten. I'm never trying to, you don't need expensive tungsten because one, it's just weights. It's not nothing crazy. But definitely want tungsten because tungsten is smaller. It'll have a smaller profile than lead, but also you can get smaller in size tungsten weights than lead. So like a 2-ounce tungsten might be this big, but like a 2-ounce lead weight is like this big. So the only bad thing about flipping is your weights are expensive and you're normally going to get smaller packs. So I mean, you could probably start off with something like this. This is a 3/4 ounce weight. You might even be able to get down to like a 1/2 ounce weight depending on what type of cover. I know the place that we're going to have some pretty thick cover and all this stuff is 25% off, so might get more than we need. But I definitely, like, if I could only get one size for the place that I'm going, I'd probably start off with a 1/2 ounce. That won't get me everywhere, but that'll get me like on the outsides and like in the middle of the grass. Then it's still pretty early in the season, so you know it hasn't gotten super thick to where I know for a fact I'll need 1.5 ounces. Granted, there are probably some places where you will need it to get through the cover, but I know for today we won't need that heavy of a weight. So we're gonna start off with just the ounce weights. All right, next, flipping hooks. I don't really know who all makes a flipping hook, but personally, I like the 3/0 because normally the plastics that I'm going to use aren't going to be super thick. So these are all extra wide gap hooks. So next, some extra wide, or some just flipping hooks. They have like their straight shank and then they have the bait keeper up top. So once again, hooks, flipping hooks, they're going to be like a thicker gauge off rip because they're for flipping. So once again, I'm not telling you to cheap out on your fishing gear, but this is one of those techniques. Like when they get it, you ain't got to have nothing fancy to do this. But definitely would recommend flipping hooks. I would not do this with an extra wide gap because you will bend one of those out. Speaking from experience. So if that's all you got, you know, you got money for the weights. I think the weights are the most important. Then I'd say your bobber stop is second. And then, I mean, if you have to use an extra wide gap hook, you can get away with it, but until you get a flipping hook. Another important thing about a flipping hook is, like, if you compare the flipping to a extra wide gap, your hook point is more out in front of the shank of the hook. So when you set the hook, your hookup ratio is going to be a lot higher than something that's in line with like the line tie of the hook. You'll miss a lot more fish with these versus these. If they get the plastic and you yank the hook, that's gonna hook up with them. So we're gonna go with the 3/0 Eagle Claw hooks. Actually, I have a whole bunch of hooks at home, so we're not gonna get any hooks. So your next thing, bobber stops. Same thing as like pegging a Texas rig. Nothing fancy to it. Like, this is why I like coming to Bass Pro, because you can get a big old pack of these things for $3. So $2.69 for 45 of them. I normally use one at a time, but I mean, you can double them up. I don't really think the color matters. Need some bobber stops. We also already have some of these. So back to my little tungsten spill. So if you look at the Bass Pro Shops branded plastic or tungsten, it's 25% off one. And so this is a 1 ounce tungsten weight from Strike King, and it is $8.99. You can get 2 1 ounce weights from Bass Pro Shops for $11.99 plus 25% off, so just like $9 or whatever after tax. So like I say, tungsten's tungsten. It's all weight. I mean, that the paint might stay on that one better, but the paint coming off means you're catching fish, or you're trying. So next, plastics. This is where it gets, you got to freestyle a little bit here. With my plastics, I want something that has 2 appendages on it that's going to kick on the way down. I feel like the more stuff that you kind of have, you know, flailing out on the sides, the more opportunity you have to get hung up. So also, as y'all know, I'm a big Maxent guy, so I'm going for the purple bags for something to flip with. I don't really know what's over here. Chigger crawls, I've never flipped with these. I want something that would be like a little bit more streamlined than this. Something like a Creature Hog. This is normally what I've used in the past. I like these just because, you know, it's all one shape. It's in tight, like everything's kind of packed in tight. You know, the bait profile is 3/4 of an inch. The bait has like a 3/4 inch width, so I really like that. It's a 4-inch bait, and I definitely would recommend something 4-inch for that 3/0 hook. Once again, we have a lot.
White ones or black.
Oh my goodness.
You got spinning reels, 7 foot.
But yeah, guys. So definitely Creature Hogs. Just my personal recommendation. I know Maxent is expensive if this is your first time, but I promise you, Maxent is different. Maxent is built different. If you're not a big bait and scent guy, just try it. Try it, and you make your own. You formulate your own opinion. Another thing that I've kind of fallen in love with here recently are these Shape 108s. These have a little bit bigger crawls at the end of them, but like if you're flipping, you know, like 3 inches of stuff up top and then you got 4 foot of water, these have a really good kick on the way down. So a lot of times I feel like these get bit on the way down. And once again, the 3-inch are cool, but I always shoot for the 4-inch or the 3.5 inch, and they make them in a 4-inch as well. Actually, I like the 3.5 inch because you can just, if they're too big, you can just pull sections off the top. So, and we're gonna go look at some other shapes just to see what all is out, because I haven't really browsed. Like I said, I haven't been in here this year, so there could be some cool stuff in here. And like, we found a whole bunch of JDM stuff at that Tackle Warehouse store that worked really well. So let's see if there's any other flipping profiles that look cool. Like these Rage Tail Menace Grubs, these look like they could be pretty good. You want something with a big top to it, something that you got enough room to put the plastic in. These kind of look like those Berkley Creature Hogs, a little bit smaller. If I'm going flipping, I want something that's going to be a little bit bigger, because it's kind of one of those like immersive, like, hey, eat this, almost like throwing a big swim bait. If you're going big swim bait fishing, you're not going to buy a 3-inch, you know, Kitech or Power Swimmer to go big swim bait fishing with your power rod. I want something that's got a little bit of, hey, I'm here, eat me, try me, you know. So with that being said, guys, that's the stuff that I would get. We're not getting anything today because I promise we have so much stuff already in the tackle box. I'm making a good financial decision today, but I am going to go look at the ammo because since I didn't spend any money on fishing stuff, gotta go spend it somewhere else. So I'll see y'all on the water. I will also tell y'all about the setups and everything that I like to use when we get to the water. So stay tuned. And if you have any questions to this point, please comment them down below and I will try to direct you in the right direction the best I can. All right, boys, today we are doing some trophy pond fishing. It's windy. I'm not sure how good the audio is gonna be, but we're gonna make it happen for y'all. Since I'm prepared for it today, like, you never know. I was watching the elites, and when they were in Florida, some of those guys were doing it. I was like, you know, Florida's always, you know, about month and a half, or anywhere from like half a month to like a month and a half ahead of us here in Alabama. But, you know, if they're gonna be in there, they're gonna eat in there. I can give it to them in there. So let's see what we got. We got our stink bugs, we got green pumpkin blue, and we got black and blue. I don't know if I've ever thrown this color before, green pumpkin blue. Normally it's like green pumpkin with red flake, not ever blue. We got creature hogs, and we got some white ones. I did bring 3 packs of creature hogs, because I'm like, you know, if we're catching them flipping and, you know, they're good size, we're gonna go through a couple packs probably. So, brought a couple. All right, let's see. Let's go flip, baby. Like, there's probably a pretty good chance that this fish over here is gone by now. We'll try. There we go. Flipping, baby. Flipping. Oh, we made it back into the grass. I'm trying to spot lock. There's a lot going on right now. Look at that one. That's a big one, boys. Come here, line. Come here, line. Oh. It's like a 3-pounder to start. On the flip, right there in front. Boom, baby, look at that. Look at it. Appreciate it. Love it. Love it. You gotta love it. You better love it. Oh. It's kind of like one of those moments where I feel like I don't know what to do with my hands, you know? Did I not bring my phone? Oh, I didn't bring my phone. L me, L Larry. Oh. Oh. There we go, boys. First one. That is not a bad one at all. By no means is it a giant, but it is a good fish. Let's weigh him. W me for having a scale with me at all times now, or most times. All right, let's see. No, I don't want it in kilograms. I want it in pounds and ounces. These Berkeley scales, to change it from kilograms to pounds, to change it from kilograms to pounds and ounces, you just hold both buttons. You hold the 0 and the hold button. 3-pounder on the dot. Sweet, awesome first fish. Thank you, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Flipping. Flipping, flipping, flipping. There he goes. Go home. Don't tell your friends. Or you can, I guess. Just tell them to eat the mac scent, which, I mean, he probably doesn't even have to tell them, they'll all eat it. Flipping. Now the question is, do we go back through that first stretch we started in and through the spinnerbait, do we start back there? I really don't know if I brought another one of these hooks. Which is okay, because I mean, technically we only have like an hour to fish, but it would be nice to have another one, just because sometimes, like if you catch 4 or 5, this little Tide part with your bait keeper, it'll slide and move around on you. All right, we're gonna go through the rest of this little stretch, and I'm gonna go back over here since the wind's blowing into this. I think too, another key might be trying to find like the green stuff, because it looks like they came out here and sprayed a lot of this stuff. So since it's been sprayed, I'm sure it'd probably be a smart idea to fish the stuff that looks like it's lively and not full of herbicides. Now, how about that, a 3-pounder to start the morning? I didn't drink my coffee this morning because I knew I was gonna get it when I got out here. I was like, I don't need to be double wired to where I crash at 11 o'clock. Cool. That's the first one.
Oh, there we go. There's another one.
Oh yeah, that was just kind of like out there in the open too. There wasn't anything around it. Come here. Ow, that was bad. That was just like in the open water. Like I probably could have caught that one on a Texas rig. Cool. Up shallow, baby. The way the Lord intended for fishing to be done. Up shallow. Up against the bank. I guess. There we go. That's probably a 2-pounder. He's not as big as the first one, but still a really, really healthy fish. Awesome. See you later. Whoa. Tried to jump back in the kayak. I think he tried to attack me. Man, this is awesome. I'm so happy I brought this because I almost didn't bring it. I was like, no, it's still kind of early. I know the fish are probably up shallow because, I mean, fishing a pond is different than fishing a lake. They don't have really that like 8 to 12 foot range to hang out in, or there's not a lot of that. And then, like a pond like this, there's bait and like bluegill that are probably going to be hanging out up here and, move their way shallow, so the bass are following them. So like what I'm trying to say basically is bass are a lot easier to pattern in a pond that has some variation in structure. Like you have your deep side, which is your dam, you have your shallow, and if it has grass around the edges like this place does, like it's pretty easy to tell, like, okay, if they're not deep, they'd probably be like over here in the shallow. So like if I don't even get hit or like feel like I ran over anything with the spinnerbait, let's try the grass, or let's try a Texas rig. So like the process of elimination can be a lot quicker, especially like in the spring too. The spring really helps because like, you don't have there's only so many things that they can be doing once it gets warm outside. Like they're not gonna be sitting on the bottom in 12 feet if that's the deepest part of your pond. They're probably gonna be up somewhere eating or trying to eat. So pretty sure that's what these fish are over here doing. They're up over here getting ready to spawn. Definitely pre-spawn. I don't know, that one was kind of like in an awkward place. He might have been kind of picking his spot out. But still, nonetheless, pre-spawn. I don't think he's up there. He wasn't fat. That looked like a man. So he was just kind of out here in this open spot too. That's another thing, like whenever you're doing this, if you're in a place where you can, one of the best things that you can do is just do it everywhere. Of course, it's kind of like fishing a Texas rig. Do it where there's changes in the bank. So like right here, there's like a little depression, and that fish was sitting right pretty much where he should have. I know it's very cliche to say.
Oh, there's another one. That was a horrible hook set. There was another one in there.
What? I was getting ready to reel it up and I couldn't get it back. And I was like, something's pulling. Give me my lure back. That's a bigger one. That might be like a 4 or 5 pounder. Come here, boat flip. Oh, that's a 4. He might go 4. Look at that one, boys. Dude, that's crazy. As I was saying, you got to try different places in the bank and anywhere that like just looks different, you know, kind of get a rhythm. Okay, this is all straight. Okay, there's a foot depression right here. Flip in there, you never know. Here's another one. What's that, number 3? Look at that. All right, the question is here, do you think he's bigger or smaller than that first one we caught? I don't know. He might. My mind's between like 210. He's between 210 and 3.3. I know this is a decent sized gap, but I want to say he's a 3 pounder, but also I really don't know. Let's see. I don't know if he's gonna go 3. No, he's not a 1.5 pounds. The scale has got to be lying to me. There's no shot that this fish is a 1.4, 3.4, 3.5, 3.6. See, okay, the scale's gonna stress me. I have to get a new scale. Because I caught that 8.7 the other day and I was like, this fish has got to be bigger than this. And at first the scale showed me 1.4. All right, see you later, dude. See if he does another cool trick like that other one. Do a trick, do a flip or something. No, it's okay. Still love you. Okay, so yeah, that was cool. Oh man, this is so much fun. This is fun too because like it's hard to hold on to the rod when you get bit and you're not expecting it doing something like this because it's already a heavy presentation. So like the heavy presentation combined with like, I'd say generally, not all, this isn't always the case, but like generally in the places that I flipped, it's not always, but most of the time the fish are a little bit bigger than like what you would normally catch just on a regular day of fishing. So, you know, you got a bigger presentation, bigger fish, your guard, I'm already on guard because, you know, I ain't trying to get whooped like that one just whooped me. I had both hands wrapped around the rod like, somebody please help me. But yeah, different places like this, like I wouldn't be surprised if we caught one more. Because also too, another thing about flipping is like when you get to a place where you catch them at, so like I've caught 3 down this stretch of bank, they can be really loaded in the area. Then you could go, you know, 10, 11 minutes without catching another one. So it's one of those things you really got to be, you know, on your A game. And since I'm in an area where I've caught 2 pretty much out of the exact same hole, this is a spot that I would really want to pick apart, and I'm even going to, you know, throw a little bit behind me because I kind of rushed to get to this spot right here. Granted, this spot is a good spot because there's the depression right there in the bank. And, you know, the wind's blowing this way. A fish can sit right there, kind of get out of the wind, ambush bait. One can sit right here because the wind's literally blowing right into the spot. And, you know, it's just naturally bait fish or whatever prey that they're looking for, whether it be insects or whatever, it's naturally just going to get blown in this direction. So it's just, you know, it's a smart spot to sit. Then we have a windy day, and then another reason why I'm over here too is to be out of the wind so y'all can hear me and it's not like so like another spot where I would expect to get bit is like this first little thing that comes out right here, or maybe not expect to get bit, but like another spot where I would definitely make a couple of casts to is right there. Man, that's cool. That's fun, that's fun, that's fun.
There we go. Come here. Oh. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. That's number 4. Spin, spin, spin. Gotcha. Golly, that's fun. Like, all this is new. Like, normally this is kind of one of those areas that you look at, it's like, it looks good, but it's a 1.5 foot deep. But I'm so happy I brought this today. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for allowing me to, 1, catch these fish. Allow me to wake up first this morning. 2nd, allow me to catch these fish, or I guess 2nd is giving me the thought, or, you know, telling me to bring this rod, and last, allow me to catch these big mouth bass. It's number 4. I should have flipped in that one. I guess I still can. I mean, like I said earlier, just a second ago, there's a lot of spots out here that used to not be spots that look like spots now. So, what's that, number 4? There's one. There we go. Come here. Oh, this is not a good place. Oh, that's a good one too. This is not a good place to be. Come here. Come here. Come here. This is my first ever fish on the stink bug. Oh, he choked it too. Golly, this is so awesome. Look at that. Look how he ate it. It's gone. Tried to steal my stink bug. Out there in the open, there's another open spot back there I tried to cast into, but I was kind of floating by it. I was like, there's probably some better casts to be made through here. But I might circle back around and try to hit it. Man. There we go. Smallest one of the day. Just got a flying fish. Flying fish, everybody. Flying fish. I don't know where my hook is at. Oh, he's peeing. Look at that. I'm not really. Tried to pee on me. No, thank you. Big no thank you on that.
Alright guys, so I just want to tell y'all a little bit about some of the flipping stuff that I've used, not only today, but over the past, 7-8 months of me flipping. like I said, I started last summer and I've enjoyed it a lot. So I figured it would be something that I should share with y'all early in the year because I had such a good day on it. There might be an opportunity for you, if you're watching this, for you to have a good day with it. I don't like to think of myself as like a fishing teacher, but I do get to fish a lot, so I'm sure I learn a lot of things that I can share. But also I like to experiment and try new things, and hopefully this will be something that you can apply to your fishing. You don't have to have what I have, you don't have to use what I use, but just kind of in that same ballpark would be good. But so start off, I'll say fast gear ratio reel. When I first started off, with Black Maxes. I had like 6 Black Maxes at one point. Those were all 6-1-1. So when I heard of 7-1-1, those are 6-4-1. So when I heard of 7-1-1, I was like, ooh, that's blazing fast. But now I got Revo Rockets. These are 10-1-1, and I just like them for one, being able to pick up your slack. So like, you know, if you make a far skip, you're gonna have a little bit of slack in your line. And normally, or if you make a far, flip, you're gonna have a little bit of slack in your line. Once that bite comes, you sometimes don't have that long to set the hook or to let it go. You know, you don't always have like a time to feel is he there. A lot of times I feel like punching, flipping, whatever you want to call it, whenever I get a bite, it's instant. Like it's on the way down, or it's like on the first hop before I bring it out. It's never like really a slow process. So being able to have a reel that you can really get your line back in, I think is very key. So these are Abu Garcia Revo Rockets, like I said, 10-1-1, and then 55-pound braid. You can probably get away with 50. Probably wouldn't go below 50. And then this is a 7.6 fast heavy. I also have pretty much the same setup, 55-pound braid on a 7.3. I like these combos because not only are they for flipping, I can use one for flipping and one for a frog. So like early in the morning, if I want to flip and frog an area, I have 2. This one right here, this is a Abu Garcia Revo SX rocket. This is a 9-1-1, I want to say. This is a 9-to-1 gear ratio combo, and I like this one because it has 25-pound fluorocarbon on it. And I was watching a YouTube video about flipping, and one of the guys was just talking about how fluorocarbon versus braid when you're flipping. One, the fluorocarbon, this might be kind of like a hot take, or it might be kind of like a little too technical, but it's not as easy to be seen by the fish. Granted, you're flipping a ½ ounce or an ounce or an ounce and a half weight. I feel like, you shouldn't be worried about what your line looks like if you're fishing in 3 foot of water. But I will say I did try the 25-pound fluoro, and I really, really do like it. One, because I feel like it's smoother through the like if you're, I've never flipped pads like just through big grass. It almost feels like it just gets down smoother. I will say it doesn't have like that cutting power braid does, probably with like lily pads and whatnot. Big stand at the bottom of a lily pad, but I really did enjoy throwing it on. I really did enjoy using fluoro for flipping last year. So that being said, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to fish hard. Have a good day. And please let me know if you've tried it, and if you haven't, if you plan on trying it, and if you do try it, if you catch a big fish, or you catch a fish in general in a place where you're like, I don't know where all the fish are at. Like I said, check the grass. Check it. It doesn't have to be around the outside edge of the pond. It can be slap dab in the middle of the pond. If you got grass with a foot of water underneath it, try it. Just see. It doesn't hurt. Give it an hour. All right. See y'all in the next one. Thank y'all for watching.